Hello, happy Friday, folks. 17th of December. This is the last one of 2021. I'm not doing any more after this one, which is great. But I will be back next year with, a million ideas that I've got at the moment, which is so exciting. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about 6 realistic and practical money-saving tips and ideas for your small business. Now, as we come to the end of 2021, do you all reflect on your business and review what's happened, what's gone well, what hasn't gone well? I do a review usually in between Christmas and New Year because it's my time when I am setting all of my intentions for next year and for my business and for me personally and what I want to happen and how I want it to happen. So I don't just set goals. I had the most amazing. I was listening to James Fear's Atomic Habits. Actually, I was listening to Brené Brown interviewing James Fear on Dare to Lead on her podcast. And there were 2 key things that came out of it for me. When you're setting any goals and things like that, you can do your goals can be set according to intensity versus consistency. Now, I have always done everything that I'm doing full on to start with, absolutely full on. I go hell for leather, completely and utterly exhaust myself, and then give up. Why doesn't it work? Why do all these new habits and things that I'm trying to set up will not work? Whether that's trying to keep fit, doing some exercise, whether that's eating healthfully, whether that's being kinder to myself, whether that's, it doesn't matter what it is, actually, intensity versus consistency. So I am always hell for leather to start with, and then it doesn't work. Why not? Because I'm not keeping it consistent. And it works that's the same for every habit. It doesn't matter whether you're setting up a morning habit for your business or you're making sure that you stop work at 3:30 so that you can write your journal, which is what I'm supposed to be doing at the moment. Why is it not working? Because I'm not consistent. Very simple. But also, and this one's, I'm so excited when I heard this, focus on developing a system and setting up a process, not achieving a goal or outcome. So when we set our goals, we can all set our goals just like that, not a problem. But if we don't develop a system or a process for getting to those goals, how are we ever going to do it? So when we're setting up a goal, like he was talking about somebody who wanted to lose weight. In fact, Brené was talking about how she wanted to do strength training because she was getting to that certain age that she wanted to be stronger. She felt she wasn't as strong as she used to be. And so she was saying to James, well, how do I do that? And he said, first of all, you have to have the mindset of the person who you want to be. So who do you want to be? She wanted to be someone who was strong, somebody who was strong in her body, but as well as her mind. So what would be the mindset of that? If you were trying to lose weight, for instance, there was somebody who was talking about who every time she went into a shop or she was at a restaurant or anything like that, she would automatically think, so I want to be more healthy. What would a healthy person choose? Every single time. So she went into a sandwich shop. What would a healthy person choose here? And she just asked herself these questions. She was setting herself up with a system and a process to get this sorted. And so instead of achieving her goals through just having that outcome, she was setting up a process and a system to do that. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Anyhow, so what are we talking about? 6 realistic and practical money-saving tips and ideas for your small business. Saving just a small amount of money here and there can really boost the bottom line of your small business. If you're tired of hearing abstract advice, then let's just get into some serious, straightforward, practical tips. Okay. 1, switch to pay-per-click advertising. Apparently, I don't advertise on Facebook or Google AdWords or any of those sorts of things at all. But it is far more cost effective than traditional ad campaigns because it allows you to target a much more precise audience, helping you to squeeze more out of your marketing budget. Do you have a budget for your marketing? If you don't have a budget for your marketing, it might be quite a good idea to put one in place. If you're using profit first, you can always put a percentage of your OPEX into a marketing pot. How about that? It's a good idea, isn't it? Yeah, you also only pay for the clicks that you actually receive rather than the number of impressions that ad gets. I personally don't understand anything about pay-per-click advertising because it's not something that I do, but I gather that it is a lot more cost-effective than the traditional way. Outsourcing. Outsourcing allows you to increase your productivity whilst keeping your employee costs low. For one thing, there aren't any pension contributions, sick leave, holiday pay, and all the rest of it. Furthermore, outsourcing more of your work allows you to convert fixed costs to variable costs. So you pay for the man hours that you need in accordance with the actual volume of work. This makes it much easier to save money during quiet periods. So as you all know, I am now outsourcing all of my compliance work so that I still do some actually, but not a huge amount. But it means that the people that I pay to do the outsourcing, I pay them for the hours that they do. It means that I'm still in control of what they're doing. I'm still supervising everything that they're doing. So I'm keeping a very close eye on what they're doing, but I am actually only paying for the hours that they do, which to me is the most cost-effective way of doing it. I don't want to have employees in my business. Not that I really have quiet times anymore, but I don't want to have employees in my business. Negotiating with vendors. This is key as well. The vendor's named price isn't necessarily the final word on whatever you're going to be paying them. It's always worth attempting to negotiate better prices because you may end up saving yourself hundreds of pounds each month. You just never know. One of the things that we do on Profit First is we go through an expense analysis. And however many times people say, oh, well, I only did this very recently, and yeah, I cut some things out, but I don't think I'll be able to now. Yeah, you will. I do. Every month that I go through this, actually, I don't do it every month anymore. I do it every quarter now because I've got it down to pretty fine art. I go through every single expense for that quarter, and I can still cut things out because we all sign up for things that we actually don't use. Anyhow. Number 4 is seeking a cloud-based solution. So we know that cloud-based accounting software can save us a huge amount of time, but what other cloud-based software can save us? It eliminates the need to purchase, maintain, and upgrade expensive hardware, which is just makes such a difference. Cloud-based software is also very easy scalable. So the majority of things, it doesn't matter what it is, but they will offer you various different packages. So if you've got 20 clients, you're going to pay this much. If you've got 50 clients, you're going to pay that much. If you've got 150 clients, you're going to pay this much, etc., etc. So it's all scalable depending on how big or small your business is. Going remote. So we know that going remote can be a really big saving for businesses. When employees work from home, businesses instantly save money on utility bills, office supplies, even things like hand soap and loo paper. Doesn't really matter what it is, they're still saving on all those things. So by encouraging some employees, not all of them, to go fully remote, businesses can also move to smaller office premises. Therefore, they can save money on rent and furniture and things like that. Alternatively, you could allow employees to work flexibly and introduce hot desking. Personally, I don't like hot desking, and as an employee, I don't think I'd like it either. I think I'd feel very transient, I think, probably. But for some companies, that will work first. That would work absolutely brilliantly. If you can allow your workforce to work remotely, you can also usually, almost always, in fact, get more out of your staff. There is a huge amount of evidence at the moment to suggest that remote workers are more productive. A study by, I have to read this bit, a study by Atlas Cloud found that remote workers put in an average of 26 extra days over the course of a year, which accounts for a whole month's worth of added productivity at no extra cost to their employer. Pretty cool, huh? 26 extra days. I think that's amazing. If you are in the business of hiring people at the moment, hire based on mindset, not on experience. In the old days, this is what we always used to do, is we used to look at someone's CV, see what experience they've done, what qualifications they've got, etc., etc. These days, it's much more efficient and productive to actually hire based on mindset, not experience, because so many people have the qualifications, the experience and everything else. But if they haven't got the mindset, the same mindset as you, the same values as you, then they're not going to work with you. I was talking to my outsourcers recently, and Nikki was telling me that they have an amazing team of 3, but they are just about to employ a 4th. And she said, well, the dynamics are just not right. And she said, I've got to get the right person. She's got to have the right experience and all the rest of it. I said, they can earn experience, but their mindset, if their mindset's the same as yours, they will fit in with your dynamic. And she was like, oh yeah, good point. Okay, that sounds cool. So while everybody wants to hire someone who's smart and eager to learn, etc., but if they haven't got the same values as you, then they're not going to fit in. So in summary, by employing some of these tips, not all of them, you can cut down on your costs, boost your bottom line, and increase your productivity without making huge sacrifices. Now, if you run Profit First, which if you don't know anything about it, come and talk to me about it or have a look at my website, and you have your separate pots for your operating expenses, etc., then when you go through your expense analysis, that means that when you start to cut out some of those costs, your operating expenses pot can get smaller, which means that your profit pot and your owner's pay pot will get bigger. As they get bigger, your profits will increase, therefore your tax will increase, so your tax pot will get bigger as well. And that is how we make sure that Profit First works for you. So if you're interested in knowing how it works, please let me know. As I keep on telling everybody, as from January, I will be running 3 months intensive business courses to mentor your business, to get you really, really fast tracked to wherever it is that you're wanting to go to, with the systems and the processes, not just necessarily on the goals. But I will also be running evergreen courses on Profit First, so you can set it up in your business and get it working. And it makes no difference if you have any income or not at the moment. The most important thing is to get it set up, get the routine and rhythm working, make it a new habit. Profit First is a cash management system which works on your behaviors. It doesn't work on an accountancy system. It is not an accountancy system. It's a cash management system to help you earn profit in your business. Whether or not your business is profitable makes no difference. You don't have to call it profit either. Some people, what did somebody call it? One of my clients. They said, we don't want to call it profit because we're not making a profit yet. We want to call it insurance. Fine. You can call it whatever you want. The management system is actually called Profit First, but if you don't want to call your pot profit, it's completely up to you. Insurance works for you, or buffer, or anything like that. It doesn't make any difference. The point is that you're putting the money aside, 1, to reward you, 2, to pay you properly, 3, to make sure your taxes are saved up for, and 4, to make sure that you've got a buffer in case things go wrong. Simple. Have a fabulous Christmas. And anybody who's got any questions, please do come to me, let me know, and I'm very happy to help. And I will see you next year. Bye-bye.